I mean,
No, he passed.
oh,
His obit's in the paper today.
I haven't looked at the obituaries yet. That's another thing that I've started doing more regularly than I used to. But
It takes longer to read those,
yeah. Oh,
unfortunately.
geez.
Yeah, they're stoked.
Yeah. Yeah. I had either one or two kids in school.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, that's a common name, so make sure.
Yeah, I will. I'll read the obituary to be sure.
How's the chamber doing?
That's you, Jennifer. Yeah. Yeah. I had either one or two kids in school. Yeah.
Okay.
Tom, are you on mute?
I will be now.
No, I'm trying to see if Tom left, if I can hear him.
No, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I could hear you. Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
Okay, I think we're all set. Oh, here she is. All right, keep talking amongst yourselves. I'm setting up our live stream and our recording.
Oh, let us know when you go live, Jennifer.
You're live.
Good.
Okay, here's Tim Porter. And I'm taking attendance. There's Tim. So we go live on YouTube and you guys all have nothing to say now?
I haven't said hi to Kathy. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah. You ready for the holidays?
I think so. Linda's doing all the shopping, so
There you go.
she's got that online thing down, I should
Right.
say.
Yeah, someone even mentioned that Amazon has like free gift wrapping. There's like a
Oh, I didn't know that.
box that you can check. Yeah.
How many
It's like
miles did you run, Kathy, in that Bigfoot race?
10.
Good for you.
Yeah, it was 1,600 feet of elevation. So it was more about the elevation than it was the miles. Yeah. It
Old
was tough.
trails.
Very tough. Trails, all trail. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Very muddy.
Muddy and cold.
Yeah, it was fun though. We got it done. My girlfriend ran the 30 miles on Saturday and then paced me through
Wow.
10 on Sunday. So yeah,
Hustler.
yeah. Crazy runners.
All right, we're just waiting on 2 board members.
Jennifer, who will the incoming president be?
We haven't decided that yet.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm getting my boards confused. Tim Porter will be our incoming president.
Right.
I was about to announce Tim Porter to be it next.
Isn't Tim the current president?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Probably not uncommon during COVID for that to happen. And not unprecedented in our chamber either.
Not a lot of changes have occurred to the slate of officers. Just one new one, and gosh, we're glad to have her. Right, Maria?
Okay.
Well, while we're waiting, thank you, Jennifer, for giving me the privilege of administering the oath of office to the board of new board members.
Thank you for doing so.
Oh, I look forward to it every year. Linda is really upset because she had court scheduled today and she's not available. So I said, well, sometimes you lose out. So
We'll send her the link and she can feel like she was here in spirit.
okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, I'm sending this. VP. We're just waiting on one of our members, and then see. And have you had to do this so far, Judge? Do it like a virtual swearing in? Do you have a process recommendation for us?
You know, I haven't done a swearing in, but most of our court hearings are now, for the Court of Appeals, the attorneys appear via Zoom. The judges can, appear via Zoom and we ask the questions. So our Court of Appeals is set up perfectly for it because we get the briefs emailed to us or get them all online. So really we can operate pretty effectively through Zoom. And it saves me traveling up to Elyria or out to Worcester or up to Medina. So there are advantages, I suppose. The disadvantage is, you're not around people. Just like this is such a great live event. So we'll do what we have to do, I suppose. But I look forward to next year when we could all be together.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay, there we go. There's Jim. Okay. So since we have just a little bit of time, I'll give this group an update. We now have $1,000 in Shop Local 330 gift cards in the wind. We had a couple of wonderful signups over the weekend. We've got a couple of ice cream shops, Tavern of Stow just signed on, and folks are buying gift cards at a good pace. So that's exciting to be able to send that information out to our vendors. Judge, if you haven't seen, we launched a local gift card program. So the gift cards can be purchased and they only work at participating vendors in the Cuyahoga Falls, Hudson, and Stow-Munroe Falls area. There's no cost to the vendors. They sign up online and they run a little prepaid MasterCard to be able to share their point of sale information. And then we on the back end, the three chamber directors can see who signed up and then how many gift cards have been purchased, and they're electronic gift cards. You can give them to anyone and then they can use them at the vendors, and we get to see what the percentage of sales is. So Dave Segan at Bellacino's, he signed on, and so I can see, oh, hey, look, Dave Segan captured 20% of that local revenue. Isn't that fantastic? Or
yeah.
So that's very exciting to see those. We had vendors sign up, and it was exciting to see all the vendors sign up, and now we see gift cards kind of flying off the shelves, virtual shelves, and it's really fun to see that information kind of tick, tick, tick.
Yeah, excellent.
Try and help our local businesses here. Okay.
So Jennifer, my banker question on that. So who sits on that cash till it's spent? Does the chamber sit on that cash till it's spent, or is there some intermediary credit card company out there sitting on the cash, or who sits on that cash?
Cards. They're MasterCards. So
if I buy a $500 card, who's holding that cash till Dave draws down and, other people draw it down? Where's that money sitting?
it's Yifty. So the gift card company is Yifty. The sale goes to them. It's backed by MasterCard. When the vendor runs the card number, they're paid nightly with the rest of their credit card reconciliations.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then you're right. So the income side for Yifty is because everything for us is free, right? They didn't pay.
Right.
We didn't have to pay to launch our website with them. We don't have to pay for the cards. They give us all these templates. It's fantastic. And they do a lot of work to promote those cards so that they meet that kind of threshold of due diligence to say, hey, card holder, you have money to spend, spend it, spend it, spend it. In the event they don't, it reverts to Yifty. Yifty makes a claim and says, hey, it's been 12 months. MasterCard, give me this, I'm going to keep this cash. the MasterCard processing network is how all that kind of runs. So it's not something extra that the vendors have to do. The merchants don't have to
Right.
put anything into
Right.
the bill or anything like that. But yeah,
All
it goes
right.
nifty. When the three chambers were talking about a gift card program, one of the criteria for me was that it was a closed loop system, meaning only those that self-select to participate can use those funds. You can't get that MasterCard number and go onto Amazon.com and use it. It won't work.
Right.
It will only work at our vendors. So it was important to me that it was closed loop. It was important to me that it was going beyond just our chamber members to be a true
Right.
development program. But for Hudson, it was really important for her that she not hold those funds because they had their own homegrown system where the chamber was actually selling the cards and then putting it basically in an account and then keeping track of who they owed what to. And it was too much.
Right.
to me.
Good program, good for the local economy.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Absolutely. I'm hoping so. Definitely. Well, we have all of our new board members here. Do we want to swear in? Or do we want to still update each other and chit chat?
Swear at. That's the wrong one.
I didn't hear, Tom.
I thought it was swear at. I'm at the wrong meeting, apparently. Ouch.
I'm ready if you are. Would you like me to proceed with that?
President Tim Porter, do you have a preference?
Well, I say we go ahead.
All right.
All right, everybody probably unmute then because you will have to repeat after me. So if everybody would please repeat the following pledge after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States
to
uphold the Constitution of the United States
and the bylaws of the Stow-Munroe Falls Chamber of Commerce
and the
laws of the Stow-Munroe Falls Chamber
Chamber of Commerce
to the best of my ability.
to the
best of my ability.
I also promise
I
I also
also
promise
promise
that my service will be motivated
that my service will be
motivated
by the good of the chamber and the community,
by the
the good of the chamber
and the community,
and not selfishly abused,
and
not selfishly
abused,
and that my efforts will aid
and
that
that
my
my efforts will aid
in the promotion of goodwill
in the promotion
of
of
goodwill
goodwill
between the business, political, and public sectors,
between
between
business, political,
political, and public
and
sector.
public sectors.
It is to this end that I serve, so help me God.
It is
It
to
is
To
this
this end that I serve, so help me God.
God.
So Jennifer, I now declare the 2021 Board of Directors of the Stow-Munroe Falls Chamber of Commerce duly installed. Please welcome your board.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
I think it's better live. I think that'll suffice. It's official. Listen, I wish everybody a prosperous 2021 as well as a safe and happy holiday season for you and your families. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Judge.
All right, I'm going to sign off, let you get on with your business.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, new directors and returning directors. That was unconventional, but it got
Different for sure.
I thought we had to install each officer as well.
Oh, no. Now we have to bring him back.
Well, we always did in the past, but I guess this was like a group installation, so it didn't really matter.
I think so. I said, I want whatever you did last year, and here are the new folks, and that's what we got. I think he's official enough. Yeah. Bill Flinta says, congrats to all directors and officers. That's wonderful. Well, so thank you very much for attending our unconventional lunch and learn. We've got 28 folks registered, so I imagine folks will start trickling in as we get closer to our real 11:45 start time. But I did want to thank the nonprofits that signed on with us for this lunch and learn. Really because I had rounded to most of them earlier in the spring. Tom's nodding his head like, yeah, this was part of our thing. We were going to, in November, have something like a gallery walk. I envisioned Silver Lake Country Club with tables, and we could hear from each nonprofit organization about really what they had accomplished through the year and how we could best support them during their season of giving, and then how we could plan in our companies, our business organizations, maybe formalize that relationship and maybe find a great alignment between a local nonprofit organization and something that your company was committed to, either as a corporate value or as a product or service line. And we all know what happened. So in lieu of an in-person event with a gallery walk, we're going to get as close to that feel as we can. And we have several organizations that have agreed to speak with us. We have the Schools Foundation, the Stow-Munroe Falls Rotary Foundation, the American Red Cross of Greater Akron and the Mahoning Valley. Did I get all of that, Jill? Guardians Advocating for Child Safety Protection, Jobs for Ohio Grads, the Akron Area YMCA, and the Great Trail Council, the Boy Scouts of America. I didn't hear you, Tom.
No, I was pretty sure that I responded. I thought it was to Debbie or to you. I forget who, that I would talk about Kiwanis, but I thought I did. I remember the invitation. It's all right, whatever.
That's fine. So if you guys have had the opportunity to participate in our first Friday networking, we're going to operate pretty much the same that we do for that event, which is I'll go through my Brady Bunch grid and ask you to introduce yourself with your name, your organization, talk a bit about what you have done in this unconventional year, give us some information about how we can best support you in this season of giving, and what the year looks like coming down the pike. So in 2021, do you anticipate greater need for your services, different services? Are you delivering services in a different way? Any of those things. And then in the chat, if you can send, post in the chat window, your contact details. So if you've got a website that you'd like folks to see, if you have a link to video or to photos of your organization in action that you'd like to post, whatever we might be able to share with our members so that they can continue to support your organization as we move forward, that would be helpful. Sound like a plan? Yeah, okay. So first on my list, I have Debbie Rice.
I will unmute. Thank you. Thank you. I am with GASP, Guardians Advocating Child Safety and Protection. You can see that there is no C in GASP because that represents a child, and the child's usually silent. So it is our job as adults, parents, grandparents, teachers, we need to speak up for our kids. We need to educate them, we need to empower them, and we need to give them tools that they can protect themselves from dangerous situations, abuse, and other things. So this pandemic has not changed that. As a matter of fact, it has gotten worse because kids are stuck at home, so we can't find out who has been abused because there's no teachers to report it. The internet crime for predators have gone up because the kids are bored, so they're on it more, and the predators are on it more. So annually, GASP has attended at least 130 events a year in person, so that we can engage with parents and kids, talk to them about safety, hand out safety materials. And we also had a computerized ID form that we did, and everybody came back with a disc or went home with the disc, also DNA kits, and a ton of safety information. So obviously we cannot hold those events anymore. So that's our biggest change. How do we get to reach these people? Because obviously we know we're going to be needed. So we've been thinking about what we're going to do. So we have now purchased new ID kits. So they're not as good as our computerized one, but they're good. And we are going to put those with our safety information material in our bags. We're going to start calling all the 130 venues that we have served before, and we're going to try to get these kits out. I have ordered 3,000 kits. So if anyone in this chamber is going to have some type of group event and they want these kits, please call us. I will put our information on the chat room. So because it still is very, very important. Obviously, our fundraising has gone to, like everybody else, we had to cancel our 2 events. We did do a mailing event and we did raise money. Thank God people still support us, but we obviously need the support so that we can continue our mission, which is to protect our kids and keep them as safe as possible. So you can visit our website, and that has a donation button, and you can donate that way, or just get in contact with me and we'll figure out something. But we will need support. We are still vital. We will be important as time goes on. We are getting requests for the summer already to do our in-person events. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that with the vaccine and whatnot, that we can meet again in person, because we know what we do is important and we're here for you. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Debbie, for your information and your work. Next in my grid is Kevin Ticknell.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Titchnell. I'm currently serving as Vice President with the Stow Schools Foundation. So I'll take just a quick minute, share a little bit about who we are and what we do, and what we're looking for, how you might be able to get involved. So at the very highest level, we really have 2 charges at the Stow Schools Foundation. Number 1 is providing scholarships for graduating seniors. And number 2 is providing grants to teachers inside the school district. So starting on the scholarship side, each year we give out somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 of scholarships to graduating seniors who are going on to college. In a normal year, there is a kind of a nice reception. We do a big scholarship reception in the auditorium at the high school. You call the student's name, talk about what scholarship they've won, families are there. I think there were over 1,000 people there in 2019. Obviously for 2020, we weren't able to do the large public gathering, but it is a very nice recognition for those graduating seniors. In the last couple of years, we've expanded beyond the traditional college scholarships and started adding some programs for trade schools and apprenticeships. So those folks who can get an apprenticeship paid for, or by way of example, someone who wants to go into being an auto mechanic, right, will actually help fund, the scholarships will help fund them getting the tools that they need to get started in that trade. So kind of expanding beyond the traditional college scholarship model. So that's number 1. As far as teacher grants are concerned, teachers can apply to the foundation for a grant. We have a general scholarship or a general fund that we will issue these grants, and they can really be for anything. So we've had some new teachers where we're setting up their classrooms. Some of you may know that teachers don't have a large salary, so you come out of college, a lot of student debt. We'll actually help them set up their classroom and get them the supplies they need first year. We've bought standing desks in a situation where a teacher had a student with a back problem and couldn't sit the entire period. So we buy a standing desk, or buy a software that the students can use for a particular project. So teachers can apply directly to the foundation. It's really for anything that is outside the traditional school budget that normally that teachers may not have the funding for. They can come to the foundation. So as far as our funding goes, we're really funded in 3 ways. Number 1 is businesses who will just donate directly to the foundation and say, here, just use these funds as you wish. We do have a lot of individual contributors who might, through a fundraiser or just through monthly giving, will donate to the foundation. And the third and the largest and most common way is either a business or an individual. You can actually set up your own scholarship. And these scholarships, it's pretty neat. They can be as small as $500 per year. We do ask for a 3-year commitment to set up a scholarship, but you can kind of create your own, really your own desire. So you can name it what you would like, and it can set that scholarship up for a specific thing. So I want to give a $1,000 a year scholarship to someone who's in the band, who's going to go to University of Akron, and they're going to major in accounting, right? You can kind of create your own scholarship fund and then participate in the annual process for that scholarship being given out. So that's one of the larger ways people actually, or businesses, will set up the scholarship for a very specific purpose. Last item you asked to address, Jennifer, is kind of what we need or what we're looking for. It really is just word of mouth. We are, and Sean can confirm this, we are either the largest or one of the largest foundations in Stow, but very few people know about it. We're giving out $30,000 to $40,000 a year of scholarships, and we'll only have 100 to 120 students apply for those scholarships. So really, we're looking for teachers to know that we're here and know that we have access for grants. We're looking for individuals and businesses who might be interested in setting up a scholarship or a trade school scholarship for one of those graduating seniors. And we're also looking for students themselves to, if you know high school kids or can get the word out to the folks, hey, there are scholarships available. What's unique about ours, or what's neat, is it's not always the kid with the 4.0 and perfect attendance, right? They can be very specific that says, hey, I don't need to have a perfect GPA and a perfect track record to get a scholarship for my trade school or for college. So that's Stow Schools Foundation. I will throw our website and some contact information up in the chat room, but happy to answer any questions. But thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Have you seen or heard about any sort of non-traditional needs with some of the hybrid stuff that we've been doing back and forth, or are teachers and students kind of trying to think differently about how they might request funds from the foundation?
Absolutely. So there's really 2 ways that's come up in the last year. One of them was through a software that was, I believe, in the high school math department. So don't ask me to explain it because I don't know how they use it, but there was some sort of unique software that allowed all the math teachers to communicate outside of the regular school system specific to their work. So we were able to fund that for some of those teachers. And then number 2, actually one of our fundraising events we did this year, again, you can't do the traditional happy hours, right? So we did an online raffle. We had a homeschooling, we call it a homeschool toolkit. The laptop, computer, printer, wireless mouse, keyboard, and a headset that we raffled off for a student. And one of our families here that has a student in the high school and the middle school won the raffle. So it was a way for some of those kids who may not have some of the basic stuff they need to work from home. So we had a little raffle for the homeschooling toolkit, and we're likely going to do more of those. It was very well received.
Yeah, I think we sent an e-blast for it, and it was a really neat idea. I remember reading it and thinking, oh, that was really clever. That was a great one.
The students who won that, again, it was the family that won, had a high schooler and a middle schooler, and they were very pleased. So it worked out quite well. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that information. Yeah, definitely put that information in the chat. Next on my list is the Stow-Munroe Falls Rotary Foundation. Linda's muted. Hang on a sec. Let's see if she can.
I have to run this off my, since we don't have our cameras in our office yet, Jim Labor, I have to run this off my phone. So pardon any interruptions. That's why I don't know why I'm also on the other, but I had to sign in both ways. Anyways, thank you for the opportunity to talk about our local Rotary our Rotary Club and our Rotary Foundation. It's nice to see some of our Rotarians in our, you call it Brady Brunch Squares, I call it Romper Room when we have our weekly meetings. But we are actually in the midst of our big project that we do at the holiday time, our Holiday Helping Hands project. This year, we are helping 27 children who belong to 12 different families. We were lucky, we were able to receive a grant from the CARES Act through the Akron Community Foundation for $5,000. And yesterday we were able to go up to Costco and buy a nice variety of hygiene items, laundry items, and food items for these families. They were all put together yesterday at Stow City Hall. And the Rotarians purchased gifts for the individual children. And there were some other goodies that will go in gift baskets that will be delivered in the next, I think, a week. It'll take us about a week to deliver those. So I thank everybody on screen who helped participate in that. I know Sue was a buyer and Jim helped contribute. And who else is on here? Lisa, it's nice to see you today. Thank you. And Tom Lepp, can't see him, but he was a participant also. So it is definitely a full Rotary project that we do. We run that through our foundation. And the foundation is new to the club. It's been in existence, I think, about 3 years now. And it was because of the foundation that we were able to apply for the grant. The club itself could not apply for a grant, but the foundation was able to. Again, fundraisers have changed this year for us as they have for everybody. We did run a virtual reverse raffle, which actually did much better than I would have ever expected. And Bob Oborn headed up that effort. And I have to say, he was a great leader for making sure we sold 150 $100 tickets. So it was fun. And our other fundraiser is a golf outing. Well, it has been postponed twice now. And hopefully in June, we will have a golf outing, but that remains to be seen. So we are virtual at this point. We have had no in-person meetings since March, probably. And I don't foresee having any anytime soon. But I can tell you that we all miss Silver Lake Country Club and its holiday decorations, because normally we would be meeting there and we are not. So tomorrow is our final meeting for this year. Anybody is welcome to join us. I can put a note in the chat if you'd like an invitation to the Rotary meeting. We'd love to have you visit. We're going to celebrate the holiday season tomorrow, and we'll be wearing our finest Christmas attire, I'm sure. But so we're doing okay. There is additional need. We are also going to hear tomorrow from the Interact Club that we sponsor at the high school. The Interactors took it upon themselves. I kind of put a little idea in their head and they're running with it. They're sending about 1,300 Christmas cards that have been personalized to all of the caregivers and residents in our local nursing facilities. So we are going to hear about that project from them tomorrow and how they are honoring the caregivers and sending a special card to every resident. It's my understanding these kids have actually drawn pictures and really have gone above and beyond. They also involved the kids from, I believe the kids from the National Honor Society participated. And Tom, I believe they may have also talked to members of Key Club. So it'll be a great project. And we were also able this year to send cards to all the veterans at the Veterans Day holiday in the local nursing home so that they know they're not forgotten. Since normally we would meet with them, we at least were able to send them cards and greetings. So that's kind of where we are right now. The club has been in existence for 40 plus years. We have 50 plus members right now. We're always looking for new members. So if anybody is interested in membership, feel free to give me a call. We are pretty active in the community and we don't necessarily go out there seeking donations, but we fund our projects through our fundraising efforts. So I thank you for your time today and letting me talk about Rotary. It's near and dear to my heart, and it's been an interesting year to have a very social group on video, but we're getting there. So hopefully anybody who has joined us has enjoyed their time. So, but I wish you all Merry Christmas and a good start to the new year. I know we all thought 2020 was going to be the year. Well, it has been the year in many different ways. So thank you very much. I'll put some information in the chat. If anybody has questions, let me know. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thanks so much, Linda. All right, next on my list is the American Red Cross of Greater Akron and Mahoning Valley. I think we've got Jill here. Where'd she go? There we go.
Hello. How are you? I'm so happy to see so many smiling faces that I haven't seen for so long. It's super exciting. So thank you for inviting me. I'm going to put my name and my contact information in the chat, as well as some additional information as I move along. But boy, we've been so busy here at the Red Cross, and this has been a challenging year indeed, with our work that we normally do and reconvening and doing things so much differently, as we haven't missed a day, we haven't missed a beat, and we're still doing the great work in our communities. Most people know the American Red Cross as with blood services, but we do have 5 lines of services that include blood, disaster, our international services, our service to the armed forces, and our training services. Boy, these disasters this year have been so relentless that we sent more than 796 million severe weather alerts out, which is more than twice as last year. And that's through our mobile apps. Our mobile apps are free, and you can find them on our website and download them. They've been fantastic whenever there is a storm coming our way. They're based on your zip code and your location. So please feel free to view our mobile apps that could be life-saving in times of need, should there be a severe winter storm coming your way or a thunderstorm coming your way. To aid the families in need, nearly 11,000 Red Cross workers delivered relief virtually and in person across the country. That includes serving more than 3.6 million meals and snacks. We provided more than 1.3 million overnight stays in emergency lodging. We distributed more than 596,000 relief items with our partners, and we provided emergency financial assistance to more than 282,000 individuals, and making nearly 187,900 contacts with people to support their health, their mental health, their spiritual care, and their disability needs. It's been an extremely challenging year. We've had to do our work a little differently. We've had to go back and add more personal protection to our work, especially with blood. We've had to order thermometers and masks and protective gear. Most of our work in disasters, when we respond to a local home fire, requires us to do some virtual care. Our biggest response is really being there on the scene when there's a fire at the individual's home and being able to hug and help that family. And we can't do that right now. We can't be there to help those individuals that are watching their home burn and just give them that support. We are there at a distance, and we're also following up with them virtually. So it's much different. That human contact is so challenging when people need it the most. So in order to really help those individuals, we're doing the best we can to do virtual visits, align them in a different way. If they have no access to computers, we're responding in a distance response as well. But think about the way that we respond to our disasters across the country. Normally, we would set up a shelter location that would be maybe a warehouse or a mall that we would use their space when a hurricane comes in. And we would have a big, large open room, and we would set up cots. We can't do that with COVID. We can't set up our traditional sheltering locations because of the pandemic. We have to put these individuals into individual hotel rooms. That is more costly to be able to respond to those individuals and help them when needed the most by putting them into those shelter locations. And we don't ask for money from them. We still put them in there for free. We provide the mental health follow-up for weeks and months to come, but that's an additional cost to us as well. Just recently, we provided 320 overnight stays from a recent fire in Toledo. that drove out dozens of senior citizens from their apartment. The hotel lodging versus sheltering costs really led to more money and a cost to us overall. So that's one aspect in the different needs that we need to do. Many of you have been hearing a lot about our blood. I'm trying to send a lot of communications, and just, I believe it was last week, Jennifer, that we sent out the communication about the holiday blood drive that's coming up at the Sheridan Suites. And it is our annual holiday blood drive, and I had it up here, and there we go. I'm looking at my 12th annual holiday blood drive. It's at the Sheridan Suites. If you are willing and able to give blood, we are in need of blood donors. That's taking place on Monday, December 21st and Tuesday, December 22nd. I'm going to share some links in ways that you can connect to the blood drive. I'll put a link that you can click on and schedule your blood donation. Tens of thousands of blood drives were canceled as a result of the pandemic and forced schools and businesses to close. So we have really had to think differently on how to set up those blood drives. Same as the sheltering locations, we can't have a large blood drive in several locations. We've really had to do them differently and space the beds differently. It's safe to give blood, but we have to take a bigger precaution in having people come and give blood. Our blood donation center is always open at the chapter, but then these other blood drives has been challenging because the locations are really not available. The college students went home, the businesses have closed. So it's been a big challenge. And in 2020, the Red Cross blood drive cancellations tripled compared to the year prior. And that's, again, mostly due to COVID. But since March, over 50,000 blood drives have been canceled at the schools, and it impacted over 1 million blood donation appointments. So this pandemic has caused the Red Cross to adapt its collections to include plasma from COVID-19 survivors. If you've not heard of that, if you are a COVID survivor, we encourage you to give plasma to go and be tested, because every blood donation now and probably through the new year, at least through January as of right now, will be tested for the COVID antibodies. And if you test positive carrying the COVID antibodies, we'll be reach out to you to ask you to come back and give plasma. And that plasma is helping sick individuals. Just one partnership that we're doing with our blood, and I can go a long time about and talk a lot about that blood donation, but I'll let you reach out to me if you want to learn anything more about the blood. Just looking ahead, really our greatest needs right now is individual donations. We've asking people not to donate specifically to a hurricane or event, because luckily and fortunately we are now out of hurricane season. I can almost go phew, because it has been a rough year, but we are looking for donations and where it's needed the most. Undesignated dollars to help those in need. That could help support blood, it could help support disaster, and it could help support your local community, or you can support across the country where it's needed the most. Again, I'll put 3 links into the chat so that if you want to learn more about giving blood or find out how you can help with the financial gift, you can reach out to me directly. And a quick, easy way to give is our text to give. You can text the word disaster to 90999 to make a $10 donation at any time. And I'll put that in the chat as well. I thank you again for allowing me the opportunity to share the great need that the Red Cross is doing, like not only in your backyard, but across the community and across the country. And I hope that you reach out, and if you have any questions, I'm always happy to help. Thank you.
Jill, that was a lot of information.
Sure.
Jill's always on LinkedIn as well. And so as chamber members, if you guys tag us or post something to our page, any of our social media pages, we then repost it. So that's another way to get your organization kind of out there and maybe in front of a different audience, is to tag the chamber, and we'll repost that to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram if you're on that one as well.
And Jennifer, I can't thank you enough for doing that. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Okay, Akron area, YMCA is next. That's Ryan.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. I'm gonna take a lesson from Jill here and try to paste my information right away so that everyone can have it here. So I will put that in there. Just want to thank you, everybody, for allowing us in the Akron Area Y to be on this call today. And thank you just for all the work that you all do. My name is Ryan Reevy. Specifically with the Akron Area Y, I am the executive director over at our Riverfront Family YMCA in Cuyahoga Falls. So we are one of the 6 membership branches as part of the Akron Area Y. And then we have many childcare centers within our Akron Area Y. And then also Camp Wainoa, it's our adventure camp for overnight residents. And then they have a day camp as well. And then our Rotary camp, which is a camp throughout the summertime for individuals with special needs. And then they also do other groups that come in and enjoy their time as well. Just like for everybody and the theme of 2020, it has been a different year, but thankfully we're continuing to press on. Overall, as the association, we've tried to pivot in a lot of different ways. Initially, really, and even up to this point, really trying to utilize our child care centers as much as possible. So starting out, that looked like a lot of pandemic child care centers that we had that were not only at our branches, but within those child care centers. And most of those child care centers range from that take participants from ages infants to 5 years old. So here at Riverfront, we had kindergarten up for pandemic child care. And then our Hearts and Early Care and Education Center over on Stow Avenue in Cuyahoga Falls at First Christian Church. They were also a pandemic child care center. Early on, our Cole Family YMCA, which is in Akron, that's connected to SUMA. We sent staff over that way. They provided food and some lodging and rooms for SUMA employees during their time, and to kind of be able to be there, get some rest and do anything else that they needed during that time. At Camp Wainoa in Green, that was also a similar place that was set up there at Camp Wainoa for first responders to be able to rest, give food, and do things that they needed as well. So that's kind of a little bit of a snapshot of some of the different things that the Akron Area Y has done. For us, for Riverfront specifically, we do the before and after school care for Cuyahoga Falls, those 6 elementary schools, Woodridge, and then the 6 elementary schools in Stow as well too. As many of you know, that's looked different throughout this school year. So for Stow specifically, they've been a hybrid so far this year for that elementary age group. So we are still doing that for before and after school care. We have a few virtual classrooms that are here at the Y, mostly for students from Cuyahoga Falls and Woodridge. And so that's kind of ever been changing as well. But we are doing that right now. We still have preschool with limited participants on a limited basis, but we have a couple classrooms for preschool as well. Here at Riverfront, we also have a gymnastics center. So our gymnastics team and pre-team has continued on. They have not had any meets yet at this point, but they have been practicing. We have been doing gymnastics classes as well too that started up this fall. Swim lessons, so we do swim lessons here as well too, more so on a limited basis. We do have a youth Tiger Shark swim team. Normally they practice at the University of Akron because of their size, but because of everything going on this year, they're not able to do so. So they've utilized our other Akron Area Ys. Within the process, they do virtual meets. So they've had 1 virtual meet so far. Basically what that means for anybody who may not know is that they utilize one facility staggered times when kids come in, and they still compete against another Y, but they basically record those times, and then the other Y will do the same, and then that's how they determine who won that specific meet. So they're continuing on with that. And so we're staying with it. Some use sports and some other things as well. Our big thing for the Y and for the Akron Area Y as we get ready to kick off 2020 is to recover, reimagine, and rebuild. And so we're trying to think of different ways that we can do that. We've utilized a virtual platform for members more so than probably what we ever thought we'd have, that include group exercise classes and other programming on there as well. One of the big things for the Y, or the pillars, if you will, for as far as our revenue or our income, is through our annual campaign, memberships, programs similar to the ones that I just mentioned. So those are the three main focuses within our annual campaign. So each branch has an annual campaign. For Riverfront specifically, our annual campaign is to help provide financial assistance or scholarships for families within our Cuyahoga Falls, Stow, and surrounding areas, so they can utilize those for classes, for our Safety Around Water program, childcare, family memberships, and be able to utilize that. Our goal specifically for Riverfront this year was to raise about $79,000. And currently we're at about $83,000. So we've been super fortunate that even with everything going on this year, that's where we're at to, again, be able to help families within our area. And real quick, then the basic breakdown for that is through our face-to-face goals and giving through grants and other foundations, and then our special events. As it's been mentioned before, our special events also, we weren't able to have. We have a couple bigger ones in Great Falls in September, and our Pedal with a Purpose in usually in April or so, or in the spring. We don't know what that will look like for 2021. We're hoping that we can get some, at least one or two of those back up and running, but again, we'll kind of wait and see. As far as support, again, things like this, they certainly help. And we thank you all for being there for us. We, if anyone is interested in donating, again, through the Akron Area Y website, they can donate that way. If you know of any families or any friends or anybody else within your area that may be interested or would like to know more about financial assistance, we can help them that way, or certainly with childcare programs, we're happy to help as well. So I think that's all I had for right now. So thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Ryan. So you were talking about providing scholarships maybe to some of the programs. Should I direct companies who might want to identify a program at the Y that they would like to sponsor? Or so, for example, if we've got a landscaping member who might want to provide scholarships to a soccer club because those, he cuts grass and they're outside. Like, right. Is that something that you would manage as well?
Yeah. So those individuals can reach out to me specifically, and I can work with them and direct them. Or they can also reach out to any of the executive directors that we have.
In there.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. In Green, Wadsworth, or again, any of the other branches.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. It was great information.
You're welcome.
I have jobs for Ohio grads next. Jennifer.
All righty. Thank you. Sorry to usurp Ryan's time there. I accidentally put our Lunch and Learn flyer in while he was talking. So I'm going to also try to do my contact information now. So hi, everyone. Thanks for having Jobs for Ohio's graduates on today. I'm really excited to share our mission. If you are not familiar with what we do, we work with young people ages 16 to 24 in 4 counties throughout Northeast Ohio: Medina, Summit, Stark, and Trumbull. Our goal with every young person that comes into our program is to get them to self-sufficiency. So whatever barriers or struggles they're having, we have career specialists and social workers to help thwart those barriers. So if there's transportation issues, if there's childcare issues, if there's educational issues, we meet the students where they're at and we try to tackle those issues together with them. Every student that comes into our program is eligible for a subsidized work experience, meaning we're able to pay them to come work for you. So it's kind of a free labor win, but we're looking right now for employers who want to kind of help us in our mission and mold our students and work with our students. Some of them do come from some challenging backgrounds. So we're looking for employers who are understanding and patient and really, really want to give back. We've had many success stories of students who are successful. We have a few that are not successful, but we continue to work with them throughout their time with us. So once a student completes the program, they are still being contacted by a JOG specialist for a year after they graduate or are exited from the program. If they're having any struggles after they graduate, we can help assist them, again, with kind of navigating that real world, those problems that they encounter on their first big person job, or if they go off to college, kind of help navigate becoming an advocate for themselves, which many students have an issue with. So if you're interested in hosting a student or working with a student, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always looking for employers and community members who want to assist in our mission. So thanks again for having us today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wendy, do you want to share your chat with the class?
So we've employed JOG students for the last 3 years, and we absolutely love it. We just love it. And the girl we have in the office right now, Kayla, she's a gem. The girls love her. And I asked her what she wanted to do. She said, I don't know, something in the medical field. I said, why don't you just grow up and be an HVAC person? So she could stay here. I mean, and then we have another boy that came out of the technical program. He's actually still at Stow High School. He came to us 2 summers ago and wanted to learn HVAC. He knows he wants to go in the trades. He knows that college is not for him. He got a taste of UPS and was like, oh, he was working at the UPS store too. I want to go do that. Well, he did that for a season. And now Jeanette at the high school is telling me that he wants to come back to Brandon and continue with his HVAC career. So
awesome.
I just love it. Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So thank you. I like that. Appropriate. That's great. Thank you so much, Jennifer, and for your testimonial, Wendy. And last but certainly not least, no, we have 2 more, I guess. So next is Sue with the Great Trail Council, Boy Scouts of America. And then Tom Steffen will tell us all about Kiwanis. But Sue, take it away.
Hey, thanks for having me today. I see a lot of familiar faces too. I've been around Stowe for a while. Jill, I remember you from our Leadership Hudson days. So thanks for having me. Well, Boy Scouts are always supposed to be prepared. And so that's how Sue Figler does it. She puts Great Trail Council, I guess, first in the chat box. Sometimes the return button isn't what you think it is in different formats. So I'm going to start this with a little twist. So thanks for having me today. So the question is, what do COVID, the movie Jaws, and the Boy Scouts have in common? Anybody know? It sounds like a game show question. Well, navigating COVID might have felt like you were on that boat in Jaws with Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss, but I can assure you that scouting and the movie's director, Steven Spielberg, have a lot more in common. Spielberg was born in '46 in Cincinnati, and in 1958 at 12, he had joined Boy Scouting. He was working on a photography merit badge. And the darndest thing happened, his dad's still camera was broken. So he talks to his scoutmaster and he says, you know, Scoutmaster, can I complete this project, what I have to do using my dad's movie camera? And Scoutmaster says, yeah. And well, he earned that merit badge. He did his first 9-minute 8mm movie. He filmed something called The Latest Gunfight. And, you know, as Spielberg would say, the rest is history. So that's what scouting does. It provides you opportunities to do things that you might not have thought about. And you find out what you like and what you don't like. And that's just a small part of our story. Our purpose is to, you know, prepare young people for life to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them values that we talk about in the Scout Oath and Law. I would say that concept worked pretty well for Steven Spielberg, and other local examples would be Ohio Secretary of State Frank LaRose. He's an Eagle Scout right out of this district in '97, so he had quite the task this year, and we like to think we had a little help in preparing him for that. and also Albert Bell in 1981. I'll throw a plug in there. I was at my husband's Eagle from McCumbus in 84. So little did I know him and my brother-in-law and my nephew are all Eagles out of this district. So I kind of come to it backhandedly. Despite COVID and all the things in the national headlines, Scouting remains strong, especially here in the Great Trail Council. We feel really fortunate to have literally picked up and moved our building in the past several years right here in Stow, right down the street on Hudson Drive. And as a Stow resident and joining the council during COVID, I can say that I really like the location. I was supposed to start on April 1st, so I should have known that in COVID on April 1st, that was not a great start date. So I've learned a lot about scouting in some non-traditional ways. Some things you just need to know is that while we're chartered by the national organization, we're our own separate 501c3 here at the Great Trail Council. We change the lives of kids in a 5-county footprint. So we are Summit, Portage, Medina, Mahoning, Trumbull, and part of Northern Wayne. And across that footprint, we serve more than 8,500 adult volunteers and youth. We're super fortunate as well. We have 3 camps within our footprint. Camp Standby is out in Canfield. And then right here in our own backyard, Camps Manitowoc and Butler. Little did I know when I went to that Eagle Scout presentation in 1984 and was out at Manitowoc a lot that I'd be sitting in the building where that is. But we have a camp right in the national park. So we're super excited about that. Scouting is multifaceted. You think of it as the traditional scout, the dens, the packs. That's the traditional character development where we train adults to hone their leadership skills. They put those skills to work in giving hands-on learning to youth in multiple ways. And then they empower those youth to then be youth-led groups that are adult managed. We also do that for inner city kids that do not have the family structure to back that. That's called our Pathfinder program. And pre-COVID, before the limitations for everyone, we were serving 1,600 kids in 18 sites in Greater Akron. So we're super proud of that. We also have a little known product or program, if you would say, as Exploring. That's workforce development. I actually had a daughter. We have 4 daughters. Jokes on us, I guess. I have an Eagle Scout husband. I did Girl Scouting, but we have 4 daughters. But one of our daughters participated in Exploring through Akron City Hospital. And that's exposure to workforce development programs. We're very tied in with local fire, police, and EMS. We have great relationships with Akron Children's Hospital and Goodyear. So we get our kids out in those areas and they can kind of test drive, as well as local trade unions and organizations. And finally, then we have that high adventure opportunity. We have that locally, what I mentioned here at Manitowoc and Standby and Butler, but we also have Philmont. Unfortunately, a lot of these experiences are closed right now, but they're pivoting. That's backpacking, rappelling, mountain biking, camping, sport shooting, boating, and water safety. So I know a lot of kids that have done that. The interesting thing about scouting is that we're not just for boys anymore. Venturing and exploring have always been for girls and boys, but traditional scouting as we know it opened up to girls and cubs, which are kindergarten age starting in 2018, and we opened to girls in 2019. Our families were always involved in scouting. And so what we heard a lot of was mom and dad were running the trooper den and the girls were kind of doing those things. And now the family unit can do that together, whatever that looks like for that family. So that's been pretty exciting. In response to COVID, I just wanted to share some things. We had to pivot and reimagine. Not only are Boy Scouts prepared, but they're resourceful. So what we had to figure out is, how do you do this for kids? So just to give you some idea, we had more than 500 Scouts participate in merit badge opportunities that we transitioned online. We had over 142 youth just in our Great Trail Council earn their Eagle in 2020. We're super proud of that. We had a family camp at home in March. We had virtual den meetings that over 700 Scouts and families participated in. And instead of Camp Manitowoc, we had Cyber Talk, which was camp over 4 weeks where kids had virtual camp options. We delivered packages so that they were tangibly doing things when you signed up for that. And we had a Scout Spirit Day and even a digital campfire. Our Scouts on their own did a lot of things. We had 2 Eagles that came out of Holy Family and were in Hudson that created masks, and then on a 3D digital printer figured out that strap that goes around the back to keep a manufacturing place in business, and they delivered that. Some of our volunteers that couldn't interact with their scouts became volunteers at the, and they actually ended up delivering food to some of their families because that's their demographic. So that was super cool. We've had kids over the summer. It's cold now, but don't forget this all happened, it started when it was cold and we had all summer. Plant a community garden, and there's an entire blueberry patch planted so that an inner city area can start to learn how to have fresh produce right in their backyard. So we're excited about those things. We've been, our fundraising, we pivoted. We had 2 golf outings and we had a clay shoot. We were socially distanced. It was really interesting how you do that even further apart, but we did it. And we like to thank Jeff Klein, who's actually an Eagle Scout and a local businessman. I know you know him. We did our virtual auction. We did this online and delivered food to everybody. So while it wasn't without its challenges, it was pretty exciting. We're reimagining scouting, but our kids continue to almost lead the way. Time Magazine has never named a kid of the year, but this year they did. And that kiddo happens to be a STEM scout. She's detecting harmful contaminants in water and diagnosing early stage opioids. I'm sure that's what all of us were doing after we Netflix binged during COVID. And it's a girl. And so that's kind of interesting. So Jatalia Rao, she's 15 years old. She's a Scout of the Year. And locally, we had a young man 2 years ago who, what he learned in scouting, he saved his brother's life from choking. Julio Isis from Medina, who's now a Walsh Jesuit sophomore, he's done those things. So scouting teaches skills for a lifetime. What can you do for us? If you know a kiddo that wants to have an alternative experience because, school isn't able to do that socially or engaging them, some of the sports activities are. I'm not suggesting that we are meeting in person, but we're doing our darndest to modify that. We've met in parking lots when the weather permits and people sit in parking spots, in smaller groups. Scouting is built for this. What we're looking for is sustaining these opportunities for the youth and also providing financial support so that we can do that. What I would share with you is we believe that we're empowering kids to become part of all the organizations that we're mentioning today because they do that on their own or they do that because they found a niche. So now I'll share the real link. I would invite you for as little as $5 a month if you go to our Trailblazers program. For $5 a month, less than a cup of a Starbucks, I believe, depending on how frou-frou or bougie you get, you can support a scout for 1 year in their membership in scouting. So I guess I challenge you to do that. When you see our scouts out there selling popcorn, we did it in creative ways, but that's what I have to tell about scouting. I'm excited to be here and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Sue. All right, we are a little bit over time.
Yeah.
Stefan?
I will be very quick. I do see that we are past our end time, but the Kiwanis Club of Stow-Munroe Falls is, of course, part of the greater Kiwanis program throughout the world, and we operate according to our defining statement. It is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Here in Stow, we have several projects that have, as everybody else has had to, somebody keeps using the word pivot. We've all had to pivot quite a bit. And our fundraising has been stymied because of you know what. But anyway, we do have several projects that I would like to talk about quickly. Some of you Stow residents may remember that special playground that was installed at Silver Springs Park, the SOAR playground. That was a combined project of the City of Stow and the Kiwanis Club. It is the only playground in town where children with special needs can play, can use the equipment there. So we're very proud of that. Right now, we have pivoted. No, I'm sorry. We have decided to adopt a new signature project called the Gordon Young Baby Bags for Fosters. One of our members brought it to us a couple of years ago, how horrible she found out that children who go into infants, newborns who go into foster programs are given nothing except a diaper and a trash bag. That's all. So we've decided to take it upon ourselves, and it has become our project. We are now providing children's services with 10 bags every so often that are at least $120 worth of stuff, diapers and onesies and rattles and baby bottles and all that. We are really loving this project. This is something we've almost all of us have gotten behind wonderfully. And people on, pardon me, people outside of our club have donated to this as well. So we are always asking for donations to the Baby Bags Project. We, of course, do the same thing almost every service club does. At Christmas, we adopt a family. We do it through the schools. One of our Kiwanis Club members works for the schools. She provides us with a family in dire straits that we then buy as much as we possibly can for that family. We also provide at least 3 scholarships every year for graduating seniors, not only for college, but for trade schools, for a trade scholarship as well. So our projects are small, and yet they are important for our community. We are always looking for new members, and another person in that block of pictures you see right now is Bill Flinta. He is our membership chair, and he's going to be working on that, especially in 2021. So thank you for letting me get in here. And I know that's, yes, we are over time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. All right, folks. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for giving your time and attention and all of your amazing accomplishments to this group. You've been live streamed on YouTube, so if you weren't a fancy social media blogger, now you are. And we will post all of your contact details in the comments of the video and put it together so that if folks want to reach out to you and build a relationship with a nonprofit organization in our area, they can do so. Congratulations to all of our directors who were just sworn in, and I'll turn you loose. I hope you have a wonderful day. If I don't see you virtually, have a lovely holiday season.